Hello, I'm Julie from Shadows in the Dark Paranormal. I'd like to give you a little synopsis of how I got involved in the paranormal. When I was 8 years old, I witnessed something I couldn't explain. I was in bed. It was in the wee hours of the morning, and I know I was awake, and I kind of looked over at my door, which was cracked open about 8 inches, 8 to 12 inches. And at the time, I saw what looked like my sister walking down the hall towards my room in her nightgown. Only she was different. She was glowing, not like just a shadow of somebody walking down the hall. You see, the way that my room was situated, I was across from my mom and dad's room, which was on the street side. And yes, there were street lights, but our house sat below street level. And if there had been shadows of people walking by, it would have been shadows, not a lit up person like what I saw. And so I watched this, and as she walked towards my door, she got larger and then disappeared. And rubbing my eyes, not believing what I just saw, I laid there watching, and it happened again. And it happened again. And it scared me at the time. And I screamed out for my mom, and she came running in to see what the ruckus was all about. And I told her what happened. And she said, "Oh, that must have just been somebody walking by on the street." Although they had Venetian blinds and they were drawn, so how could we see anybody walking in, my hallway there uh, with the blinds drawn? But she got in bed with me, and we laid there and we watched. We set the door back up the way it was, and we watched, and by golly, it did it again. And I said, see, that's what I saw. And we got up and we went over to my sister's room, thinking maybe she was getting up and sleepwalking. Nope, she was sound asleep. And later the next morning, I recounted what had happened at the breakfast table, and everybody poo-pooed it, of course. And then I grew up. And now we jump forward to 2007, and I meet a group of people who ghost hunt and research buildings to find out who had lived there or worked there before them. And I learned from this group that what I saw was what was called a repeating phantom. It was someone who had probably walked that particular pathway a lot in whatever form that land was in before our family ever bought the house there. And there would have been no way that I could have interacted with it, even if I had been older and knew what that was. And that's what got me interested in the paranormal. I wanted to learn where these entities came from and if I could interact with any of them to find out what was in store for me after I die. Because I don't want to just think that when I die, that's it, lights out. What do you think? Do you think that there is life beyond death? Do you think that it's just lights out? give your comments to me and like and subscribe my Facebook page and my videos. I have training videos out on how to properly do ghost hunts. What you see on TV by the TV personalities is not the way that it is done. Not at all. And I would like people to learn how to do it properly so they don't encroach on those that lived here before us as property. Because when you go into somebody's house to, investigate, you're entering their home. And you certainly wouldn't treat them terribly if that were not their home. Thank you for watching.